don't know if you're going to find a better duo than the SEC and Binance. These guys have been fighting like cats and dogs for the last couple of years, and now the SEC is suing Binance and the CEO CZ, citing that they have broken securities laws and they have 13 counts against them. I don't think this should come as a surprise to anybody because obviously the SEC was going after Binance before this, just kind of making it more official now, I guess you could say. But this is the big move for the SEC. Them suing Binance on 13 different counts of like securities fraud. And this is the big thing, them accusing Binance of mishandling funds and lying to regulators. So that's the big news, kind of. CZ and Binance allegedly using customers' funds, kind of similar to an FTX type situation. And it actually gets even more similar than that. So this starts here. Binance had mixed billions of dollars in customers' funds and secretly sent them to a separate company called Merit Peak Limited, which is controlled by Binance's founder, CZ. And that story sounds very similar to one we've already heard before with SBF and FTX and Alameda, because all of these things, for some reason, all these guys do very similar things. Alameda, the trading arm of SBF, and his big crypto exchange, FTX, all involved backdooring customer funds. This seems to be down that same road where you have CZ, he has his crypto exchange, Binance, and his trading firm, Merit Peak. And if it is caught that they were doing the exact same things, that would be crazy to see literally the number one and number two crypto exchanges in the world. FTX has already fallen doing this stuff, but if Binance is doing the exact same things, that would be insane. And you can see too, the SEC has taken the position that most crypto tokens issued by exchanges like Binance and FTX should be treated as securities under federal law. And that I don't think is too crazy. I mean, a lot of these cryptos, the vast majority of them are probably just securities and people going through all that kind of regulation to go down this route. I don't think that's crazy to say. I don't even think the people like CZ and SBF and the people in crypto don't think that these are securities. They just fight against it because it would make it harder for them to do what they've been doing. It would make it a lot harder for the scammers to scam. And we have one of the bigger complaints here saying, according to the complaint against Binance, the bank account of Merit Peak, the trading firm controlled by Mr. Zhao, has received more than $20 billion, including customer funds. So even throughout this whole thing, they kind of go to FTX and compare it to kind of FTX and stuff, which if all this stuff is true, it's basically the exact same playbook SBF was playing by that CZ is now playing by. And it's even more funnier that all of their names, you just talk to them about letters, right? It's Sam Bankman-Fried, but everyone calls him SBF. Everyone calls CZ because his name's too hard to pronounce. But all these guys are just talked about letters. They're running the same playbook. Maybe they were both doing the same customer funds stealing. It's just crazy to see number one and number two maybe falling in the exact same way. And if you look at some of the filings in the SEC stuff here, you can see they say Zhao and Binance understood that they were operating the Binance.com platform in violation of numerous U.S. laws and federal security laws. And then down here, doesn't help Binance's case whatsoever, where you can see as Binance's CCO bluntly admitted to another Binance compliance officer in December 2018, we are operating as a effing unlicensed securities exchange in the USA, bro. So that doesn't help at all for Binance. If people in, CCO's pretty up their position, a higher position, is literally saying, we are operating as a crazy unregistered securities in US, bro. It's so crazy. So if he was caught actually saying that, that doesn't help CZ and Binance at all. And of course, you have CZ responding to it all with his infamous 4, which is him saying, it's just FUD, which is so dumb. I hate the people in crypto, everyone that says, oh, that's just FUD. When something bad comes up and something is going on, they say, oh, don't worry, it's just FUD. Like, no, that's not a way to just write stuff off. You have to address it and say, and if you can't compete with something or address something and settle it, then it's definitely not just FUD, and there's probably some merit to it. Then you can see he responds to all the stuff going on, though, saying, our team is all standing by, ensuring systems are stable, including withdrawals and deposits. We will issue a response once we see the complaint. Haven't seen it yet. Media gets info before we do, which I don't know how much that how true that could be, because I would imagine the complaint should be sent directly to you. I don't maybe though, I don't know, who knows. But again, I just hate this for stuff and FUD. That's usually what the scammers do to scam you. And of course, Binance put out a whole blog post here talking about the SEC and everything going on. They basically write that they're not doing anything that says, nothing's ever happened, they're all allegations, blah blah blah. But they try and bring it to kind of the entire industry. Say it's an industry attack. With this even right here saying today's actions is another in a line of examples where, as with other crypto projects facing similar suits, the commission has determined to regulate with the blunt weapons of enforcement and litigation rather than the thoughtful, nuanced approach demanded by this dynamic and complex technology. Which, sure, you'd probably get the baby treatment if, there weren't so many scammers. We've just seen over the past few years, there's been so many scams, rug pulls, blatant scams. Like, it's crazy the amount of stuff that's gone on. The vast majority of crypto is a scam. Like, that's why all this stuff is happening like this. It's not because, it's just some super complex technology, they don't get it. It's because there's so much scamming going on. If you didn't facilitate that, like Binance interacted with scam tokens, launched scam tokens, did all this stuff. They were huge in like FTX's things. They were huge in Luna's things. So, they kind of made it possible for these things to thrive more than they would without them. So maybe if, CZ or Binance would have actually been responsible and really looked into projects and kind of said that this one seems like it's a little too good to be true, a little too fishy, then you'd get the baby treatment for regulation. But for the last few years, we haven't had that. Even Coinbase does this. Coinbase has started to go down this route where they're just kind of trying to list everything they can because it ups their trading fees, ups the money that they bring in, and is good for the company. So, maybe though, if you didn't do that and didn't try and promote all these trash projects that end up being massive scams, then you would get the baby treatment. But you didn't, so you don't get that. And another kind of big point from this SEC filings and stuff is that the SEC, although it's suing Binance stuff, it also kind of says that there's a bunch of cryptos that they're basically saying are securities. This is the list of them all here. It's a lot like Solana, Cardano, Matic, Filecoin, all these different types of things. They basically said that these are all securities and they're going after them. And that's CZ says it's an attack on the entire industry. Like, CZ, you're not the entire industry. Binance is the biggest exchange in the world, right? But if Binance collapsed tomorrow, nothing happens to Bitcoin long term. Bitcoin will be fine. Other cryptos, though, maybe not so much. If your crypto project that you love so much is dependent on Binance being around, then it's probably a pretty terrible project. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this SEC suit. Obviously, the XRP one been going on for a long time. And I don't even know if there's an end in sight for that one yet. So this could take many years, probably will take many years, unless there's some flaming gun and they have some massive evidence against Binance and CZ. It'll probably be strung out. And a lot of people will probably forget that this is even a thing going on because it'll take that long. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next